Welcome back to Off the Course podcast. Today I'm joined by Lily May, founder of 37 Socials, a social media content coach who's helping entrepreneurs master their online presence. Lily May shares her inspiring journey from management to coaching, valuable insights into digital PR, practical business advice, and the realities of being an entrepreneur. So grab a coffee, I'm your host Hattie, and let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Off the Course podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
I'm very excited. I feel like this has been a bit of a long time coming. Obviously, you first spoke with us at our event in February.
Can't believe that's how long ago it was. What are we on May? That's crazy.
May. I know. It's flown by. I probably 6 months ago. But yes, so I would love to kick off by you just telling us a little bit about yourself personally, professionally, let everyone get to know you a little bit, and then we'll just dive straight in.
Okay, so my name's Lily May, also known as 37 Socials. I'm a social media content coach, which essentially means anything social media and anything content. I'm your girl. I've been doing this I've been in the marketing world for 5 years now, but been doing coaching for the last 6 months. And yeah, I'm absolutely in love with it. So I'm very, very lucky. Personal wise, don't really know anything really fun about me, to be honest. I'm a Libra, I love sushi, and I could chat for days, and I feel like those are the 3 things that I'm always saying.
I love that. I always think personally it's really hard, like especially as a business owner, I find this, and people are like, tell me about yourself and your business. I'm like, yeah, I can tell you everything. And like, what about not your business? I'm like,
Yes, someone said to me the other day, they were like, who are you without 37? And I was like, no one.
I get that. I'm the same. I did a TikTok about it actually, and I was like, does anyone else like just not know who they are without their business? And actually so many people were like, yes.
Yeah. It's my personality. Like, I think because I love it so much and it's so me and it's so everything I've wanted it to be, I'm like, what do you mean without it? I'm never going to be without it. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen, so I don't need to worry about it. I love that. So 6 months into coaching, how come you've made the transition? What sparked that?
So I did management for, gosh, how long did I do it for? I think about 1.5 years. I did management personally, like within 37. But I did marketing for a while after that. But I just realised afterwards, like, I do like the management side of it. But I realised that my clients were getting the best results talking to me, hopping on calls with me helping them do it. And I feel like we're moving into like a new era of socials where business owners are loving it. They're liking being on socials. They're loving getting in front of the camera and sharing their experience, where they don't want social media management anymore. They want that coach. They want to understand social media. So that's why I started noticing. I was like, wait, my clients are getting better results, like themselves, technically, with me helping them. And then from there, it kind of just sparked. And I mean, since then, I've been getting more clients than ever before. Like, people want to work with me more, and I feel like I've really found my thing. Which I felt a bit lost in for a while. I knew I loved marketing and social media, but I don't think I understood what services I really wanted to do until the last 6 months. So yeah, I'm loving it so far.
Do you think your success has come partly from starting off doing something that, although you enjoyed and wasn't necessarily your niche, or do you kind of wish that maybe you would figured it out sooner?
No, I'm really happy that I did everything first, because I think if I didn't, then I would have been like, oh, what if? And it's that constant what if and everything like that. So I'm very glad I did that first. It's taught me so much about systems and invoices and that side of it as well. So I'm very happy about that. But I feel like there's a part of me that's like, gosh, like your business could be way further now if you just did that at the beginning. But then I feel like you don't know unless you try. No. So, and in the social media world as well, like when you work in social media, people are always like, go into management. But it's such a big industry, and
so many.
It actually, like, I think when it came to full management, in the 1.5 years, I only had like one management client. I had other little bits and stuff, but like, as soon as I took on coaching, it was like a parade of people. It was crazy.
Oh my God. And where do you find that most of your clients come from? Are you quite LinkedIn heavy, or are you very much social on TikTok and Instagram side?
I hate to say this, but I hate LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I didn't know. Do you know what it was? When I was in the corporate world, I loved it. And I don't know whether that's because I could technically be working, but just scrolling. But I feel like for me, like I think it's because my target audience isn't on LinkedIn. My target audience are on Instagram, they're on TikTok. Like, they love the stupid little TikTok things that I do. So I feel like for me, the fact, like, LinkedIn's good and I've made good friendships through LinkedIn. But when it comes to actual clients, I mean, I don't think I've ever had a client through LinkedIn. I just kind of go on there and tell my story. But yeah, to be honest, TikTok, Instagram, and a lot of referrals at the moment as well, which is always That's really good. Nice. It assures you that you're doing your job properly.
Yeah. I think a referral always, like, it feels that bit better.
It does. It's so, I love a good referral. I'm like, they actually really enjoyed it, because sometimes I'll doubt myself and then they'll refer me and I'm like, wow.
Oh my God, they actually really liked me.
Yeah.
And do you find, because you're quite young as well, aren't you? You're in your early 20s. How do you find you suffer with imposter syndrome, or do you think it's a bit kind of overrated? I see a lot of controversy about it right now.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I do suffer with imposter syndrome, but not for my services, more for business. So, as in, I'm just like, I make jokes all the time, like, this was supposed to be fun, now it's a full limited company, like, what do you mean? And I feel like sometimes I'm like, I get the imposter syndrome of I shouldn't be doing this because I don't know about things like accounts and tax and stuff like that, which I'm having to learn over time. But then I'm like, I'm doing this because I'm really good at what I do, like, there's a reason. So, to be honest, I think it depends on what's going on in business of how I feel. So for me, since I've gone into coaching, I've not really had that imposter syndrome, because I'm like, this is my purpose. But I don't know. I feel like imposter syndrome is a real thing. I will say that. Like, I don't feel like it's just a gimmick or whatever. I think it really depends on. There's also a part of me that's like, are you getting imposter syndrome, or are you just being lazy and you don't want to take the next step? Like, it's understanding where you're actually standing.
Yeah. I also think that there's a little bit of a, like, say, is it imposter syndrome, or actually are you just really overwhelmed and you physically don't know?
Yeah.
Because I found that when I got kind of a year into the business, and very similar to you, I knew I was good at what I do.
Yeah.
Emails was my bag. I knew I was good at it. CRM management, you needed it, I can do it. Yeah. It's easy for me and I love it. But running the business, like you say, and I'm like, I'll be sat in a room with these kind of, and I hate to say it, high, powerful men, and I'm like, I don't belong here. Yeah. Like, why are they listening to me and my little business? Like I say, this was only supposed to tide me over until I got a proper job. Yeah. And now this is a fully fledged, like I say, limited company. What on earth?
Yeah.
And I think that's almost, actually, when I looked back at it, it wasn't because I didn't think I was good enough or I didn't belong there. It was actually just because I didn't think I knew what I thought I should know. But actually, you can just outsource. Like, I do think there's this, and I'd love to get your opinion on it, there's this balance, and I'm seeing a lot on my TikTok at the minute, between you should know the job before you outsource the job, or you should outsource the job if you don't know the job.
Yeah.
I'm very much in that if you physically can't do something and you've tried, outsource it.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that as well. But I there's a part of me that's like, I made a TikTok about this the other day, and I was like, if there's a part of your business you don't understand, try and learn it. Like, so for me, like, accounts is just not, maths has never been my strong point. There's just certain things I don't understand, so my beautiful accountant takes care of it. She tells me everything, so I understand what's going on. I understand what tax I need to pay, what I need to put away, because I'm putting myself as a PAYE next month, so understanding that side of it. But at the same time, could I go and file my own account? No. Not any idea. So I feel like it's knowing why you're outsourcing it as well, like the actual result that you're expecting to get from it, because I feel like that's definitely a mistake I made of, let me just outsource, and then it's like, actually I'm paying these people and they're not actually doing what I need them to do. So it's like, I was speaking on a live this morning, and I was saying, like, I think I need a PA, but like, what do PAs actually do? I don't want to get a PA and then like end up paying loads of money and it's like, this actually isn't what I was expecting. What they do. So I feel like understanding what you're outsourcing is really important in that.
I agree. And I think that's when referrals come, especially things like accountants.
Yeah.
I had a very bad accountant in my first year, and I've been hit with a $5,000 fine.
Crazy.
And he's just like, and like I say, I never would have known because it isn't my bag. But then equally, kind of it should have been on me to double check it, but you do get to a point, whereas my new accountant, I've said, and I'm very much similar to you, maths is not my thing, it's never going to be my thing. And the amount of hours that I was spending trying to learn it, I could be working on clients. And when I figured out my hourly rate, and when actually it's costing me more per hour in my time than it would be to just get somebody else who can do it. And I think that's the magic kind of formula almost. It's the same with hiring people. Like, I've seen a few people in the group hiring, that terrifies me.
Terrified. No, I just think this is my baby. Like, what do you mean I'm putting the responsibility on someone else? And I do feel like with what I do as well, I'm like, what am I gonna hire someone for?
Yeah.
And it's really funny because I was having this discussion with my stepdad the other day, and I was like, but when I hire, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm not giving anyone I'm not hiring my one clients off to someone else. Or
so what are they doing?
Yeah, and this is what I was like, and I was speaking to my coach about this, funnily enough, and she was like, because she's just hired a full-time PA. And I feel like maybe that's what I will need, because now she doesn't have to schedule the calls, send the emails, send the invoice. And I was like, oh, that might be nice, actually.
Yeah,
like
that sounds great.
But I also feel like people rush into hiring. That's
Yes.
something I'm seeing a lot at the moment, is people are rushing into hire, and then 6 months later they get rid of these people. And I'm just like, that's not what I want to do. If I'm hiring someone, they're sticking with me for the long haul. Like, I'm very much about relationships and about building them relationships with people. So is it going to take me getting to breaking point before I hire? Probably, knowing me.
Yeah.
But then I know that I actually definitely need it. And I think with me as well, I need to realise that I can't just hire my family as much as I'd love to. I do need to keep that difference. I'm already starting a family business. I don't need them in this one.
Do you know, I saw something, it was Vicky Owens actually, she was talking and she had said that one of the biggest lessons she'd learned was not hiring people that you think you'll like and get on with. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh my God, we can go for a coffee. Let's go.
Let's be friends. You just work for me, please.
Yeah. And I feel like that's not the immaturity in me, but that is the side of me. It's like, I really want this to be like fun, cool and everything. But I feel like I'm not emotionally mature enough to have staff yet. And I feel like this is a reason that I'm avoiding it, because I'm like, I know that if they ask me to just book a holiday, I will.
And I think it's like a business maturity rather than like a personal maturity.
And that's the thing. And it's like, I feel like that's why I know I'm not ready yet, and why I'm just like, the universe is not giving me the opportunity to hire yet, because I'm not physically ready. But it's really different, isn't it? It's like, say for example, in my second business that I'm starting, we're going to need staff straight away. That's going to be it. I'm going to be in there. My little brother's getting hired, whether he likes it or not. And my mum's already decided that she's the admin assistant. So that is going to be something. So that's going to be a big learning curve, definitely, because that's going to be in person, and people are going to need to be there when I can't be there or my stepdad can't be there. So I do feel for people.
How are you going to manage running two businesses? As someone who runs two businesses, it's really tough.
So I actually did run two businesses before.
Oh my God.
So it's going to be very different. So the way I actually really started 37 is because I started my first business, which was called 37 Shops. If you can't see, I like the number 37. But that was like an e-commerce makeup brand, and I had that for nearly 4 years. It was only last May where I ended it, just because I fell out of love with that side of things. So I was running that and this at the same time, but I know that this is going to be a whole new ball game with it being an in-person space. So it's a co-working and content space that we're opening. So it is going to be a whole new ball game. But as well, I think because I keep saying to my stepdad, who I'm starting it with, I'm like, I'm kind of using this to my advantage. Like, I'm going to get that office that I keep saying that I want. I'm going to get that content space I keep saying I want. So for me, I'm like, I can get my clients into this space. Yes. And to be honest, Ross is very good with business side of things. And I'm kind of glad that I've got someone coming in this way, because I, again, would just be like, oh, that's a really cute little table, let's buy this and buy that, where Ross is going to be like really financially heavy, be like, no, we can do this instead. And I feel like, because I mean, the house that I'm in right now, Ross, my stepdad, literally basically rebuilt everything. It was an absolute state. So he's had that experience now of this is cheap. I've made the mistakes in the house, let's not make it in this co-working space. But I feel like the reason I'm getting travelling out the way first, and then I can fully commit next year. We're starting with virtual events, just to get money, like to start getting the money in the business and stuff. But it's definitely going to be a lot. But this is why I think I'm starting to think about getting someone else into 37 Socials before, so it's not just straight away running two. But I think it's just managing your time and not overwhelming yourself. And something I've learned over the last couple of months is, if someone doesn't align 100% with me, my brand, like, and everything like that, I'm not taking them on as a client. I don't care how much they're paying me. And I feel like I'm lucky to be at that point now where I can say no to clients, because I, like, this time last year, I was not at that point, and I'd say yes to anyone. But yeah, I feel like that's making my life a lot easier, that I don't have to take on absolute nightmare people.
I do think that comes with like a price hike as well. You know, when I first started, I was like you, anyone, any price. If you offered me £100, fine, I'll take it. But actually, the people, and I've seen this quote somewhere else as well, it's come up, I think, on a few different podcasts, like the cheapest clients offer you the most expensive problems. It's so true.
It's so true. It's horrible.
I have never had anyone, like, out of my, I say, good clients, out of my trusty long-term clients, negotiate my price.
No, me neither. And do you know what? It's even things such as, because obviously with me and the services that I'm offering, it's very one-to-one. I've got to be there. And I suffer really bad with my migraine. So there's some days where I'm going to be knocked out for the whole day. Like, I will not be communicating with anyone. And I had clients before that made me feel so guilty for this, and like made me feel terrible, where my clients now are like, I've just seen that you've said that you've got a migraine. They were like, why are you texting me? Like, I'm not answering you. Like, my clients are so good now. Like, one of them literally sent me like some massive remedy thing that they seen and stuff. So it's like, my clients now, they're just nice humans, and that's what it is. Like, they're just decent people. And like you said, never ever doubted my price, which I feel like for the longest time, that's why my prices were so low. And like, I just would take, like you mentioned, take anything, because I was like, oh, well, no one's going to pay this price. Now, like, don't be wrong, I still have the people turn around to me like, oh, okay, this is a bit out my price range, which is fine. But I don't get that half as much as I used to. And that really does come like within the shift I think I've had in business and messaging and content as well. So
I think, I agree. And I think there's a big difference between, I don't think you're worth that price, can I negotiate you down? And, okay, that's just more, because sometimes you just don't know what something costs. You know, I had a look into podcast management, and I had no idea. I didn't know if that was going to be 40 quid or 40,000. And it turned out that I was like, right now, this isn't in my budget, and that's okay. But I want to work with you. So when I'm financially stable enough, like you touched on, I don't want to bring you on and then in 2 months' time go, no, the business had a flop. Out you go. Or I've had a bonus, in you come, and oh, now I can't. Now it's not what I want. So that's a big difference. But I'd love to kind of hear, for someone who's starting a service-based business, because I think, I mean, you might disagree, but from my side, whether it's emails, whether it's CRM, whether it's social media management or coaching, however it looks like, there's a kind of a process. What would you say, how does it work for you? Say, for example, I've seen you on TikTok, I've reached out and gone, oh my goodness, I'd love to work with you. What happens next?
So it really depends, to be honest. Like, I know people that will be like, okay, here's my prices, pick your package. Where for me, because I've been that service provider that wanted help but couldn't afford it, I always make sure that I really, really, really allow people to understand things as well, because I've gone into coaching and services and things far too early. I've got way too excited and been like, oh my God, this is going to help. And then I go into it and it's like, oh, this is not what I expected it to be. And it's so disappointing. I never want anyone to feel like that with me. So I really spend the time to understand people's struggles, understanding that if we're actually gonna vibe, like, this is a very like, especially with coaching, like, you're gonna have to open up to me, like, we're gonna have to really get deep in some levels. I want you to feel comfortable with me. So and like, it's that so I just might not vibe with some people, and that's okay. So I really go through that whole process of making sure that we fit and making sure that we're the right fit for each other, and that I can actually benefit them and what they're looking for. Because say, for example, I've some people come to me for like, oh, well, I want outreach doing and stuff, and I'm like, that's not me. I get why you think I do that, but that's not me. Here's my friends. Kind of thing. So I really take that into consideration. And then I always like to I try my best to always keep people's budgets in mind as well. If they say to me, like, I'll always be like, what's your budget? Either give me an overall figure or something that you'd like to pay monthly. And if I can't do it, I'm not gonna, I'll just be upfront and honest with them, and I'll be like, I can't do this, but you can split this payment of this service if you do want to. And if that's still not, if that's still not for them, then I'm never going to shame them for that, because I've been in that position. And I feel like that's something I know social media people in the social media world can be very toxic, and this is the thing. And like, some people will just ignore people once they've done it, but I will still interact with that person. I'll still build that relationship, because I've had people who, say for example, one of my clients, she came to me when she first started her business. She had a really low budget at that time. I had really low services, so she joined on. She's just joined my highest package.
Amazing.
Like, because we built that relationship and everything like that. Did it take a year? Yeah. But now we work together, like, and it's like, she's achieving incredible things. Like, she's had, I think, 130 people on her wait list for her new product, like, that we've done together. So that relationship has paid off, not only for me financially, but for me in a way that I'm like, wow, like, I've really took someone from the bottom up. So yeah, that's something that's really important to me. It's just making sure that I keep them. I'm never gonna. I really don't like people who are like, no, you're too expensive. Like, you can't afford me. You're poor, kind of thing. Like, I'm never gonna be like that. I'm just gonna. I don't know. Maybe I think I just really like talking to people, and sometimes I just vibe with. Like, there's one person in my DMs at the moment, and she's desperate to invest, and I'm like, take your time. Do not put yourself, like, one thing I always say, especially because I get a lot of like lash techs, nail techs, and everything in that world. I'm like, make sure your rent is covered. This is your business. Like, prioritize that. I said, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Take advantage of like the free things that I've got, like my masterclasses and stuff like that. And then when you're ready, I'm here. But don't put yourself at a risk where it's like, I'm gonna miss that payment and I'm gonna miss my rent. Like, I'm never gonna, like, I know people who will literally be like, but if you don't invest, you're never gonna be able to pay for this and that. I'm like, ugh. No.
Do you know what? It's could you give up a takeaway a month to fund my services? That for me, if that's your thing, I'm not a massive takeaway person, but some people are. And if that's your thing, don't make yourself miserable, because there are things you can do with free resources and learning. And there's so much stuff on TikTok available for you to learn enough to get you going until you can afford it.
Well, that's exactly what I'm like. I'm like, yes, are my services going to help you 1,000%? Is it going to be a life or death situation? No. And it's like you said, like, if the takeaway a month is that one thing that you like reward yourself with when you've been working your ass off all day, every day, then don't allow yourself to stop that. Like, this is one thing I say, like, one thing about me, I pay £35 a month for a coffee subscription at my local cafe. You will never catch me cancelling that, because that is my one thing that I've got where I know I can go and get a coffee, sit on my own, go and get myself a nice matcha. Like, it's, at the end of the day, I always say, like, you work hard, and like, business owners work so hard for their business. Don't allow yourself to not get the benefits, because I did that for the longest time, and you end up hating your business.
You do. You 100% fall out of love with it. My thing's Pilates. I had a time about 3 months ago where my biggest client, who made up about 70% of my income, decided to hire in-house. They offered me the role in-house, but it was London-based. And I was like, respectfully, there is no figure that you can offer me that would pay, I'm up north, I'm near Sheffield, as you know, to commute to London. Is it plausible? Yes. And I was speaking with my partner at the time. He's like, but is there a figure? You know, would you do it for X? And I actually don't. I actually think even if you doubled what they pay me now, it still wouldn't cover the emotional distress that I personally find having a commute, having to put my dogs in daycare, being out of the house, and etc. So, but I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, I'm going to have to cancel everything. And we did cut back in some areas, and we cut back, you know, we, instead of shopping at M&S, we went to Asda or whatever. But I was like, I'm not getting rid of Pilates. That is my one day a week that I have 45 minutes when my brain is emptied. that is so valuable to me, and I think as business owners we forget that quite quickly.
Do you know what? It's quite funny actually, because I'm on a program at the moment that I've just started, all around like fitness and wellness and stuff for business owners, because we forget about it. And it's literally, I've got a call after this about it, and I don't think I realised until she started speaking about the program. I was like, oh wait, like I have this gym membership that I love going to. Like, once I'm in the gym, I'm like, this is so good. But it's putting that time aside where I'm like, oh, actually, I haven't been to the gym in 4 weeks because I've just forgotten. I'm paying £40 a month and I haven't been. So that's like, as business owners, we really do forget, and that's why I've done this. I'm like, I need the accountability to get into the routine. And my big
100%.
thing as well is getting into a routine and actually looking after myself before I go traveling, because I'm like, the last thing I want is to go traveling and then be like, oh, I've actually got free time. Like, what do I do in this time? Like,
100%. It's so hard, and we forget about ourselves. I plan into my day now. I have my diary.
yeah,
Exercise, go for a run. Obviously, I'm training for the Sheffield 10 and then a
Yeah.
half marathon. And I was like, having that set as from a trainer just keeps you in check, doesn't it?
it does.
And it's taking that time out to work better in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like
I'd love to. Sorry, go on.
I feel like it does make a big difference having that accountability and having even when you don't want to do it, having the accountability to like get up.
Go and do it.
Yeah.
You've said you're going to do it. Go do it.
And you feel so much better.
Yeah. You come back and you're fresh.
Yeah.
And you could go again. But it is just leaving. Leaving the office is like a horrible thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to kind of circle back a little bit and go through pricing. How, as someone who's new, how do you come up with pricing? I see this a lot on TikTok for service-based businesses. They say with product, you have a product, you know how much it costs to make, you know your margins. It's a little bit easier. With services, where did you start? Obviously, we know you started low, but how have you come to your prices today?
I mean, when it was with management, I was stupidly low, like probably paid myself less than minimum wage. With coaching, I knew I had like a minimum price that I knew I wanted to charge, and I kind of just I really looked at the industry, because the thing is, I don't compare myself to people, but I like to make sure that I'm not really undervaluing myself a lot of the time.
Yes.
Or making sure that if I am charging more, making sure that what I'm including in the services are reflecting that to be that higher end person. So it was, when I first started coaching, so I really don't care about being open with figures. I'm really open with them. So when I first started, and I was offering 8 weeks, I did that for £1,000 because I knew I needed some people in, basically. My 8 weeks now starts from £2,000 because I realised that, okay, for all the work that goes into it, the one-to-one, because it's not, I feel like with coaching, sometimes people just think, oh, it's just the calls. It's not. It's all the things behind the scenes that I'm doing. Like yesterday and the day before, I literally spent 2 days on one client, just making sure all their stuff's done. Because one thing about me, I'm committed. If I say I'm going to do something, like, you're going to get it done properly. So I feel like it is still, I feel like in business, it's actually quite hard with pricing. I've got like a set thing that I like to do at the moment. I kind of add things up in a way, and I'm like, okay, so if I do for example, I'm launching an 8-week program, a group program. I'm like, okay, how many people do I need to pay me a decent weekly wage after expenses, after all this stuff? And how much do I need for that? And that's kind of how I'm basing things at the moment, is weekly. Because I'm like, I don't want to say, for example, do an 8-week program, only have one person in, then that's £1,000 for 8 weeks. And when you think about it, that's 2 months of time. That's not a lot of time. So one thing I will say is, even if you are at the higher end of things and you are comfortable with that price, charge it. People will pay. I always say people will pay if you give them a reason to pay and they know that you're going to benefit them. This is why when I was raising my prices, I was like, actually, I'm not raising this just because I'm an arsehole and I want more money.
No.
I'm raising this because, number one, I've got 5 years experience in the marketing industry. Some people are coming in fresh and charging this. I know what I'm talking about, and I get the results. Like, I think like 90% of my clients at the moment have already made their investment back within a couple of weeks of working together. Like, I'm good at what I do. So I feel like I really have had to shift my mindset, and it's really funny because it's something that I'm covering in this new program, but I really have had to shift my mindset into thinking, if you're going to charge something, you're confident with it, don't, if someone questions your price, that's a them problem, that's not a you problem. And getting into that mindset. But it is more difficult as service providers, and I feel like when you're first starting out, you will charge a price and give it a year, and you'll look back and you'll be like, oh my gosh, how was I ever charging that? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
Like, even like with me, like I look back and I'm like, I used to charge £79 for a content day.
Oh my god!
Like £79. My minimum price now is like over £300. That's without travel.
So much more likely.
And I'm just like, I really do look back, and it's really funny actually, because the client I did it still comes back and she still praised like my new prices and everything. She's such a gem, but I'm just like, who told me to charge that? That was with travel as well.
Oh my god!
So I was probably honestly getting paid around less than minimum wage an hour after editing and everything like that, and travel and stuff. Like, it's crazy, but you have to live and you learn. Even I feel like having my accountant has definitely helped, because she'd be like, okay, so you've got to remember, like, yes, I'm getting £2,000, but straight away 20% of that's gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting VAT registered soon, because we're integrating 37 spaces into this, and obviously that's going to be like in person. So then that's another 20% I've got to put away. So I feel like that is something that I've definitely had help with. Like, it's well, these prices might seem crazy to me. Like, sometimes I do look and I'm like, I literally, and it's something that I like to speak about a lot, because I'm like, I didn't come from the gated community kind of area. I came from a council estate where we'd go to the shop in our pajamas and our slippers, like when we were kids, and thought it was the best life ever. Like, I came from, like, when my mum first left my dad, it was like we were in a 2-bed council estate house that was leaking mold, and now it's like the fact that I'm charging this, and little things like I can go and take my mum out for lunch, like that. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy to me. So my brother loves going around telling people I'm rich, and I'm like, I'm not rich. He goes, no, I'm manifesting it for you, and I'm like, okay.
I love that. I do think there's a misconception though, because I get that a lot from my family. We're not, I did have elements of privilege, but we were never ludicrously wealthy. But I get a lot of my family that will, like, say there's that assumption, Harriet's rich, Harriet's this, like, Harriet actually doesn't pay herself.
Yeah.
Just so you know. When Harriet does her forecasting, she takes the bare minimum to cover her mortgage. The rest is in the business. Like Allloon, I don't take a penny, because I am lucky enough to have the other business info that supports that. But I do feel like it's a massive misconception. I had my first 5-figure month, and I was like, oh, yay, like that's so good. I was like, oh, gone.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And I sat down. My brother's just turned 18, so he's not young, but I feel like they don't teach you this shit in school. So I literally sat down with him. I said, okay, so let me show you the money that's come in. And he went, oh, that's a really nice figure. I said, that is a lovely figure, and I'm not going to moan about that. I said, but now look at my outgoings. Now look at tax. Now look at what I've got to pay my accountant. I said, and look at all of that. It's not that big figure. This is because he keeps saying to me, like, do you not want to move out anytime soon? And I'm like, I know. I actually quite like being at home, and I don't want to. I want to go and travel and everything like that. And I'm like, even if I wanted to, like you said, everything for me goes back into the business, whether that's investing in coaching. Like, this year has been, like, the end of last year, this year has been a lot of investments, like things like my MacBook, things like I'm getting a new phone because mine, honestly, I think if I open one more thing on it, it's going to explode. Things such as I've invested like nearly £6,000 into a coach. Like, these things add up, and the more and more you go through business, you get more and more expenses, like systems and everything like that. So it's not, and this is something that I've had to learn, and something I have learned definitely the hard way, is all this money isn't my money. I made that mistake. I think it was around this time last year. I came into a lot of money on TikTok Shop. Funnily enough, one of my videos went viral, and all of it was gone within 3 months. And I look back now and I'm like, that was such good money. Like, I could have done so much with that. But I feel like you have to make mistakes in money.
You do,
and this is something that no one speaks about. No one speaks about what you do with your money and stuff like that. When you're at that point when you can't afford an accountant, like having to research it yourself, and there's so many different things coming in, it's really, really hard. And I had to make the mistake. I had that hefty, like, kind of similar to you, I had that hefty tax bill where I was like, oh, I can't pay £1,000 up front, like, and I had to work, like, the whole first, like, honestly, being so open and real, the first month of this year where I was getting good clients in, I may add, like, I'd just gone from full-time work to just go thinking, actually, no, I ain't doing this no more, I'm just going in my business. I was earning £800 a month.
Big jump.
The first like month, I didn't really get to see the rewards because it just went straight to tax and straight to my accountant because this end of year thing was due that I didn't even know was due. So yeah, it was a lot, but it's definitely taught me to keep money in your tax pot. Please do not touch it, no matter how tempting it is. And if you are going to take it out, put that back in right away when you like. And that's something that I've had to learn. And I feel like not coming from money made me, when I got money, be like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But now I'm like, okay, I said to my stepdad and my mum the other day, like, I've had my fun these last couple months. Now it's actually time to treat this like a business, like I should be. So,
but I also think that's a nice period to be in. Like you say, I did the exact same as you.
Yeah.
I got my first client, and like I say, I'm not shy about my fees. My first client was £3,000 a month, which was phenomenal. I'd gone from working as a marketing manager on less than that, and I was like, it's £3,000. No one's taking any tax from me. It's all mine. I was, woohoo, everywhere. And then this tax bill came, and I went, oh, wait, what? I thought if I spent it, then I didn't have to pay it. And they were like, no.
Yeah.
And then not only did I get my bill, I got a fine.
Yeah.
So again, like say, my then second year, I then had to pay that in monthly installments. To be fair, HMRC, I know that everyone says they're awful. Actually, I went online, if you are ever in that position, and I just they tell you to put in like all your bills, travel, food. They even tell you to factor in eating out, any clothes. They are so reasonable.
They will,
and then they just give you several options to pay you monthly. They don't care as long as you're paying.
Yeah.
Like, if you do find yourself in that position, I really wouldn't stress. I didn't sleep for weeks worrying about it. And they were like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it happens.
It's so scary though, isn't it? Because everyone goes on about this tax man this and like they're going to take this and that from you. And I feel like that's what scared me for so long. And my accountant was like, it's so chill, like just pay it. Like, like
chunks.
It's learning that as well. And it also, for me, something that I'm starting to learn is what is the benefits of actually being a limited company. Like, say for example, for me, like when I'm going out for a coffee and stuff, like one of my friends said to me, like, wait, you've got this business credit card, what are you using it for? And I said, well, I'm not really using it. And they were like, use it when you go out for coffees, get your points up. And I was like, I think I've earned something stupid like 1,000 points in the past month because I'm like, oh, actually I can use this card, like I'm not gonna get in trouble for using it. So even things such as that. And I feel like not only as a business owner but as a young girl, I never got taught about credit cards in school. I got taught the difference between a credit card and a debit card, and that was it. Never how to use it, interest and stuff like that. And it's something that I hate learning, but it's something that I am learning about.
I would recommend if you look for, her name escapes me, it's Her Financial Feminist, her first 100k. Tori Dunlap, if you've not seen her. I bought that book, and it very much is that like you say, how are we ever going to learn if no one ever teaches us? And I learned so much from that. We're saying we have a personal points and a business points credit card, and like our honeymoon's paid for, like our flights, and you're like,
well, this is what
no one would ever tell you.
I'm like, I'm saving up these points, and like my mum, like say we got like, do you know Revolut points that you can get points now? Like we saved them up, and like it's just little things like when I'm going on holiday, my flight's later in the evening, but I've got to check out my holiday, check out the hotel. So I'm like, oh, let me just get the free lounge upgrade. Like instead of paying, I think it's €30, but that's still like free. So I'm like,
you would still spend €30 on a sandwich and a cup of tea in the airport anyway.
Exactly.
We always do a lounge now.
So it's just little things like that, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I need to actually start understanding, and even things such as like stocks and shares and stuff, that goes over my head, and it's still something I'm trying to learn. But it's funny enough because I filmed a video the other day, like just saying, my money isn't the business money and vice versa. Like I take a little bit a month. I don't take a lot. It's like what you said. Like I pay for my car. I pay like for random bits of food here and there, but a lot of the time when I'm going out to eat, I'm going and sitting in a cafe and doing work, so that can go through like, because it was so funny because like when I was speaking about putting myself as a PAYE, they were like, well, aren't you going to put yourself in a better wage? And I went, I don't spend anything. I said every bit of money I spend is in the business. Like everything I get is through this, and it's like personally, I don't actually spend that much money like on anything. So it's, to be honest, I'm quite lucky in what I do as well, where because I'm content focused, there's a lot of things I can write off, which a lot of other businesses can't. When it comes to things such as like anything I'm putting in a YouTube video, and if I'm getting stuff that like I do a series on YouTube called Coffee Car Chats, things like that. The coffee I don't have to pay for. So that is, I'm quite lucky in that aspect. Please do not quote me on this. I'm not an accountant or a financial advisor, and I have no idea. But that's what I've been told. But yeah, I'm quite lucky in that aspect, and that is basically like, not to sound sad, but content is my whole life. That's all I do. So,
that is your job.
Yeah, so I'm quite lucky where I can write off quite a few things. So even my accountant mentioned to me about my holiday, and I said, no, I think I'm gonna rest this holiday. Like, she did mention, she was like, if you do content, she was like, let me know and we can write off. And I said, I'm not going to put it as a business holiday because I want to go and enjoy it and not feel the pressure, but I am definitely, while I'm going to go traveling, like me and my coach are currently coming up with a plan about getting in touch with businesses while I'm traveling out there, which is so weird. That's so weird, isn't it? Like, you can get paid to travel, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's so weird. So yeah, it's crazy, but it's so weird because, like you said, people don't speak about this. People just speak about my accountant fixes this. Yeah, but what does your accountant do?
What does it mean? Like your accountant deals with your mega yacht. Like, that's great for you. But what about my £500 I don't know what to do with? Like, the real people. And that's what this podcast is for. Like, I want to know how you're dealing with your first £1,000, your first £10,000, not your first million, because that's not where we are.
And I don't know about you, but sometimes, like, if money's just sat in your business bank account, do you not like think like, oh, well, that's getting wasted. Why is that just sat there?
I do.
And I'm like, oh, but then people are like, save, and I'm like, that's fine.
For what?
Yeah, this is it. What am I saving for? This is the problem. This is what people don't speak about. I feel like I'm going to go and do a really deep dive after this. But this is the thing. Like, no one tells you what to save for. They just tell you to save and do all this stuff, which is great. Let me save, but at the same time, like, what am I saving for?
Yeah. And if it's not mine, I'm not planning on buying a premises. Yeah. I'm not planning on scaling or purchasing anything big. I have a Mac. I have a phone. I have all the equipment. My neon light isn't going to cost me tens of thousands. Like, what are we saving for?
Yeah.
There's got to be somewhere to put it, but I don't know where that is.
No. I mean, that's a good point, actually. Maybe there is like there probably is business savings accounts that I'm just oblivious
maybe like high yield savings something. I'll find out.
If I'm putting something in savings, I don't want access to it. I just want my accountant to have access to it, and I do not want to touch it, and that's my problem. This is why this is the reason that I've hired an accountant as well now, because I'm like, I low-key just don't want to know what money I've got where, because then I'll think about how I can spend it.
I'm the same. So I have, so Ollie, my fiance, he is very good with money. I'm notoriously naff with it. I've always been bad with it. I used to be really embarrassed by it. I was like, do you know what? You can't be good at everything.
No.
So we have I have my business savings, we have our wedding savings, our honeymoon savings. They're all in different pots that I can't see.
Yeah.
Because again, if I can see it, I'll want to spend it. Yeah. I have my little personal kind of pot of just bits, like, oh, my bra broke, I need a new one. You know, you need a mortgage for those these days. But then we have our like emergency savings. So if everything in the business goes Pete Tong and I lose everything, we know we can survive long enough for me. But again, I don't have access to that. And I would rather it's that way, out of sight, out of mind. All I can see is my nice little monthly pot. And if I don't use it, he takes it. So I, again, can't see it. And that works so much better for me, having someone... I have like him as my personal accountant and then my accountant for the business. And they talk together, which is great.
This is the thing that people don't speak about, though. It is that excitement when you first get money. Like I said, I blew through it, and I could have done so much with that. Like, it's even like little things like getting the laptop I'm on now earlier, or getting a brand new, like, I won't even lie, like, this was literally, like, I got such a steal for this. It was £400. It's a used MacBook, and I was like, bargain. And it works perfectly the way I need it to. But it's little things I could have got a brand new one if I needed to. I am a lover of refurbished items. My watch is refurbished. My phone I'm getting is refurbished. Like, I'm not paying for a brand new Apple item for it to be like half the price the year after because it's not the newest one anymore. I'm a lover of refurbished. So if anyone is like wanting to get items, have a look at these refurbished things. Like, mine's a 2022 MacBook, and I got it for £400.
I paid 2.5K for mine.
Yeah, this is what I mean. And it works.
To be fair, I have my MacBooks for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I run them to the ground.
Yeah.
And I always had the Air, and it literally sounded like it was going to blow up. So I did make the investment to go for the Pro.
My Air sounds like that. This is what I think. Yeah. Like, I think Ross is like, why is it so loud? And I'm like, I think it's because I've got so many things open at once. But if I don't, then I'm going to forget about half the stuff that I need to do. So, but I have a Notion document for that exact reason. Anything that's open, I have automatic connections to it, so that if everything goes kaput, I can close stuff down, and as a Notion document, I can just reopen it all back up again. Smart. You might have to show me how to do that. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, I think I might get one of the big actual. I think I'd go for a Pro. Like a screen Mac, but not until I've got the Office. Because they're so expensive. I know, but have you seen the really pretty blue one? It's so on brand. The pink one, it's so on brand for me. I went to my stepdad the other day, like, I really want this phone. He was like, why? I said, because it's really on brand. Like, and I need to get out of that mindset of I can't just spend thousands of pounds on something just because it's blue and it's on brand. Like, I keep saying, when I come back from traveling, there's a car that I want. I've wanted it for years, and they've just released it in my branded colours, and I'm like, it's even little things like I said to my I think it was my mum, I was like, do you think I can put a number plate through as a business expense if it's got 37 on it? I have CEO on mine. Yeah, I found one which is 37 as in the number, and then ESS, so 37 socials. It's $5,500. Yeah. Oh my god. I know. No, so I got mine as a present. So I'm currently Harriet Coleman, so HC. Yeah. But my married name next year will be Harriet Watson, which is HW. And I was like, well, what do I go for? Yeah. So my middle name's Frances, and I was born on the 4th of December. So for my birthday this year, my family and my fiance's family bought me, so it's HF. I shouldn't really tell you, everyone. I've literally just said my number plate. Oh, no one knows what I drive. 04 CEO, so it's Harriet Frances. I love CEO, that, which is cute. But that was not $5,000. I'm such a sucker. See, all the number plates I want, because 37's a rare number on number plates. It's more expensive, but there's one that I've been wanting. I've literally, is it on this vision board? No, it's not on this one. It's on the one on my laptop. But it's Lil 377, and I've wanted it for years. And as I went to buy it, I went to my mum, I sat down, I was like, do you know what? I've worked my ass off the past couple of months. I'm gonna get it, and it's gone off. Someone's bought it, so I'm currently like going through this dealership. Like, please, I will pay more money. Like, I want this number plate. It's so I'm kicking myself because I'm like, for God's sake, I should have just got it. But then I'm like, wait, I would have had to get it on a finance payment, like for £8 a month. Like, it's not worth it for that. Like, no. So it's so hard to get that balance, isn't it? Yeah. But no, I will, when everyone sees me in my branded number plates, because I'm that's the one thing I want. I don't care about a nice fancy house. I don't care about like designer purchase. Cars is the thing that I'm like, that's what I want. I'm a car girl. I love going to car shows and stuff, which everyone's always really shocked about. But so I'm like, I've got 4 cars that I know I want, and I'm like, I've got a different number plate in mind for each of them. I love that. But yeah, I feel like definitely when I come back from traveling, a new car will be the one thing I get myself, and which is so scary to think about, because I never even would have thought about, dreamt of it. But it's like, I'm also not rushing into it, because I'm like, I'm 21, I'm chilling. Like, my car, I love her. Her name's Pippa the Polo. She's stunning. She's got a 37 on the back, which I got from Halfords. So she does. She gets me from A to B. She does break down a lot. The tire did fall off, but it's fine. It's fine. Don't need it. But it's getting that, like, when do I get them big purchases? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Like it's not doing it too early, but also appreciating your hard work and doing it at the right time.
yeah. And again, that's something that no one speaks about. Everyone's like, I just bought a new Mercedes, like, and I'm like, okay.
Like, where were you financially when you did that,
Yeah.
though? Can we talk about that? How much is left in your bank? I'm very much now, if I can't afford to buy it twice, I can't afford it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. And I always say, like, if it's a monthly payment and I can't afford that monthly payment 3 times over, then it's not for me. Like,
Agreed.
I'll get it. I will get it eventually. It's just not for me right now.
It's not now.
And I there's so many people that I know that have put themselves in such financial struggles for certain things in business just to make it seem like they've been successful. But I feel like success is actually what you feel. I made a TikTok about this the other day, being like, your version of success is whatever you want it to be. Like, I felt so much more, like, I felt so much more happiness when I got to buy my brother a £60 concert ticket than me getting that £2,000 client, because I was like, this is what I'm doing it for.
Exactly, and that's yours.
Exactly, and this is what I always say to you. Like, your version of success doesn't have to be designer bags. It doesn't have to be spending loads of money, like going and getting that big car, going on fancy holidays. Like, that
doesn't have to be it.
He won't stop going on about it, and that has just made me feel like I've done that. Like, and it's that to me is so much more rewarding, and I just love it so much. And I feel like that's a part of business that people don't speak about, is the time and stuff like that. So
I agree. My brother was looking to move careers, and I was able to connect him with the right people to be able to make a career jump that he is beyond excited about. And I'm like, I did that through my business and my connections. Like, that's not a monetary win. That's got nothing to do with what I have in the bank. And I just think that's so much more important.
Well, this is the thing as well, isn't it? Because my even the thing is, I speak about my siblings a lot, because I mean, not that I'd ever say it to their faces, but they are like my bestest friends. I'm very lucky with my sibling. My sister lives in Australia, but my little brother lives at home with me. So, like, I'm really close with both of them. And it's like, anytime I get to do anything for them, like, my little brother wants to start a clothing brand and really wants to go that. So, like, at the moment, I'm teaching him systems that he can use and going through. And obviously, because I've had that product-based business as well, I've had that experience. I'm like, okay, you need this, and you need to put this aside. And maybe it might be worth going limited and stuff like that. And it's like, even we've spoke about me giving him the funding for it, which is absolutely insane, considering this time last year I couldn't even afford a car payment. So it's crazy.
Look how it's grown.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's like things like that, I'm like, I'd much rather my money go into that than me buying a bunch of new materialistic things. I want to help him build. And I feel like everyone always says to me, like, you are going to be the millionaire of the family. I'm like, I know, I've been telling you guys this, but like, that doesn't mean I'm gonna. I always say to Jake and my little brother, I'm like, I will teach you how to do this stuff. I said, but if I see you slacking once and I don't see you paying attention, then I'm not wasting my time doing it. And
agreed.
I feel like he's really I feel like that might have stuck with him, because even in the gym and stuff, like, he'll be like, okay, we're sticking to this, like, we're doing this and stuff, and it's just nice. Like, it's just crazy, isn't it? Like, I feel like sometimes I'm still 15 myself. Like, what do you mean that I'm giving people opportunities?
I know, it's bizarre, and I feel like it kind of, like I say, it does consume you almost. Yeah. So I would love to finish off with a couple of quick fire questions that we ask everybody.
Okay.
So obviously you've not been prepared these questions at all. One's nice and easy, one's a little bit more difficult, that might require a little bit of thought.
Okay.
First one is, I've met you in a coffee shop and I've texted you and said, what am I getting you? What's your coffee order? What am I getting you?
At the moment, can I go for a matcha?
Yeah, any drink.
Okay, at the moment, it's a white chocolate matcha with oat milk. I was a matcha hater for years, and I've converted. Like, my local coffee shop converted me, and I'm obsessed. Like, I literally can't stop making TikTok videos about how I make my matchas.
I love matcha. I bleed anything green, pistachio matcha. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Okay, and my final question. What is something that you don't know in business that you feel maybe embarrassed, or maybe just like a little bit like, oh, like you feel like you should know? So for me, for example, once I said I didn't really understand VAT, I didn't really understand where that came from, which I have now learned. So yeah, what's one thing that you don't know that you feel maybe there's a bit of pressure on socials for you to know?
I feel like it is that finance side of things. Like, I'm always so open about this, that finance is not my strong point, and it's something that I'm really wanting to learn recently. Like, I want to understand, like you said, VAT. I want to understand how much tax I need to put away. I want to know why I'm paying that money. Like things like,
why do you want my money?
Yeah, things like dividends and stuff though. Like,
yes,
what the hell? Like, what do you mean I pay less if it's that and it goes like it all flies over my head? So I feel like that is something I'm really wanting to get strong on. And also, there's no shame in it. Like I said, no one teaches you in school. Like you have to learn stuff, and it's better me learning it than me just forgetting about it and pulling it off to someone else and acting like it doesn't exist. So,
agreed. Burying your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like we've covered so much and I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to see how you guys grow, and honestly, if we can ever do anything, you always know where we are. And I feel like in 6 months' time, we'll have you back on. This will be an entirely different brand. Launched and it'll be running, and I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
But thank you so much for joining. We'll speak to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to All Loon Off the Course, a space where women building businesses don't do it alone. If you loved today's episode, make sure to hit subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with a fellow founder who needs to hear this. I'm Hattie, and I'll see you next time.